emhlabeni unetundu endaweni ephakeme Nkosi J.Mhizha phezulu.
Dumelang, sanibonani, mulibwanji. Those ones are not here. They were there yesterday. Okay, all right. I'm happy to be meeting you this morning. I'm just saying I missed you at the exercise time. And two young men, they grilled me very well, and everybody else was missing. What happened? I think let's be more coordinated. I'm not putting it on you. Now I'm putting it on the people who are running it. How about if you can be more coordinated? So that at least, okay, we are working together, we exercise again together, and then I think there's a little bit of miscoordination there. So, okay, I'm this crazy facilitator. Tomorrow, let's all be coordinated. Maybe after, when we come for the morning devotion, we are drinking our waters. After the morning devotion, just come prepared for the walk or whatever exercises that we are going to be doing. Because exercise is also quite very, very key. It's also very, very good for us. Okay, I'm just going to give you an overview of what I will facilitate in the few days that I'm going to be with you. I'm going to include organic gardening, I'm going to include bee farming, and I am going to include soap making and lotion making. These are going to be very, very practical on condition that the ingredients that I've asked them, the facilitators, to buy, they are on the place. And they are not fables. These ones are mine from Zim. You may have a taste of them. Then they just smear a little bit. Later on, just hold on to them for now. The world is running wild. And you people, you are prepared for a very massive crisis that is ahead. That's what you're preparing for. Right? I've met a number at different locations of people who are like you, preparing for a massive crisis that is coming. Okay? And yet, these people who are preparing for a crisis that is coming, which is very, very titanic, are also in the middle of a crisis. Sad part, these people are not even aware that they are in the midst of a crisis.
Okay.
That's a tough one, eh?
Yeah.
So today, this morning, we'll start with the basic agronomy. We're in the midst of a crisis. Back home, politically, we are led by a people who went to war, and then they keep us in politics. No, we went to war. Now I'm giving them a challenge. When you guys, I sometimes put myself, I did not literally go to war to fight the colonizers. But when we went to war as Zimbabwe, we allowed our enemy to make sugar for us. We allowed our enemy to bake bread for us. We allowed our enemy to educate the children for us. We allowed our enemy to mill the meal we use for us. We allowed our enemy to make butter for us. We allowed our enemy to make margarine for us. Must I go on?
Yes. Everything.
Who in their right senses does that? We need our heads examined. Are we not finding ourselves in the same scenario? Where we are saying, okay, we are at war with this one, but then we allow the enemy to do everything for us. Do we realize the magnitude of a crisis that we are in? But we are oblivious to that what? To that crisis. That's the biggest challenge. Apparently, when you see a problem, that's half of your solution. So by just identifying that, okay, this is the crisis that we are in, that must be half of the solution. So we can only work on the what? On the other half. God's plan has been that we live in the countryside. Before he created Adam, the garden was already there.
Amen.
How many of us have got gardens? Let me just see. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so less than half have got gardens. What do you have in your garden?
Vegetables.
Okay. Vegetables and some fruits. Okay, can you name particular vegetables that you have?
Of course, spinach, then fruit,
Okay, yeah, it's winter, yeah. Okay, that's fine. What do you have in your garden?
Spinach, beetroot, and peas,
Okay.
and spring onion.
And spring onion. Yes, what else?
Sugarcane, sweet potatoes,
And maize, yeah, okay. Ray, what do you have in yours? Jane, I'm coming to you. What do you have in yours?
sugarcane, cocoa, spinach, beetroot, onion, spinach, China spinach, and others.
Okay, yes, in yours?
Carrot, spring onion, spinach,
Mhm.
broccoli,
Okay, broccoli, okay.
and the Arab rose,
Okay, right.
and lettuce.
If we were to analyze the vegetables, okay, or the produce that is in your garden, vis-a-vis what you eat on a day-to-day basis, I'm going to find out you actually buy more of what you eat outside than the ones that you have. But it's encouraging, at least you are on some platform. You don't want to wake up and the sun rises and it sets and then you are eating. Only things that we are buying from where? From the outside. Okay. Yeah, I consider people who do that very, very brave. Okay. There are so many chemicals that we will need to avoid. Alright? But then you guys are preparing for a crisis. If you don't know how to produce your own food at this hour, how are you going to be producing that food in the time of crisis? Because it takes at least 3 months for you, some of these, the early maturity crops to grow. And the hunger is a very powerful lead. Yeah, if we can be starved 1 meal here, there will be chaos here. I'm not going to be bombarding you with the quotations and verses, okay? Because we do not eat quotations, we do not eat verses. I'm not saying the quotations are bad. I'm not saying the verses are bad. Actually, the Bible is actually my basic manual for agronomy. And we are going to find, the precious verses that we are going to be using in having to grow our own food. We need to be realistic and very practical as far as food production is concerned. I'm currently at about between 60 and 70% of the produce that I consume, that is back home. The other, maybe the other 30 is from my other, for the club, organic gardening club that we use. The about 5%, that is the Himalayan salt that I love, the olive oils, those are other things. And this is how I am personally structured. Okay? So I'm living proof. I'm not going to be telling you fables and theories. I'm here standing in front of you as living proof. And I believe if anything is good, first of all, it must be good for who?
Yourself.
The other time, when my second child was born, a daughter, when I visited my wife in the hospital, while I'm waiting to attend to her, a very senior nurse passed through by waiting room that I was waiting to check on my wife, and then she was moving with some other lady who also visited some patient who has been admitted to this hospital. And the nurse is asking, so what is Gogo suffering from? And this lady is like, oh no, she has got sugar diabetes. And the senior nurse, is like, oh, sugar diabetes, that is also my disease. How did this patient admit another patient well in this hospital? We find yourself in those situations.
Yeah.
You cannot be a patient yourself, and then you want to admit another patient. You see how much messed up we are. Because apparently if you get sick, you want to go to a physician, to a doctor, wherever you go, and you don't ask questions, right? Yeah, they just tell you, okay. They actually are even write with the some writing that you cannot even declare what it is here. And then you go and get this medication, and then you just go like sheep to the slaughter. So that is the challenge. So if anything is good, first of all, let it be good for you. So I believe growing my own food is very, very good. And it started with what with me. I was talking about exercise. Exercise is very, very good. I know it pretty very well. We've got a health message as a people. By the way, personally, I'm the only Seventh-day Adventist in my entire clan. So when I come in, I know I hooked in, deep dive, hook, line, and sinker. And I've been using this health message pretty very well. Yeah, I'm almost 60, but I'm still looking very, very good. I can put people half my age to shame. It works. So, whilst agronomy may be very cumbersome to start with, but it is what? It is worth it. And there are what? There are benefits in what? In it. This we need to grasp pretty, very, very, very well. Can we go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3? First Corinthians chapter 3. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. I think we picked it from yesterday's devotion that Jesus Christ is what? Is the center of what? Of everything. Once we put him on the center, every subject is going to be very, very easy. Okay? Chapter 3, verse 11. So Jesus Christ is the center of agriculture life. Let me be bold and say this statement. This is coming from me. You cannot be a Christian and not be a farmer at the same time. You heard me correctly. You can never be a Christian and not be a what? Yes, you can be a farmer and not be a Christian, but you can never be the vice versa. Because our livelihood is revolving around what? Agriculture. If you are going to live well, have good thinking capacities, have no diseases, it's dependent upon what we put where. Yeah. If you love or enjoy cooking, Ellen White in the chapter on cooking in the book Cancers and Dietary Foods, she goes on to say, it is a sin to put poorly prepared food on the table. It is a sin to put what? Poorly prepared food on the table. When I read that many years ago, I found it mind-boggling. She did not say it is a sin to eat, but it is a sin to put poorly prepared food on the table. How is our food prepared? Starting from where? From the garden. In South Africa, you are bombarded with the genetically modified organisms, largely. At some point, yeah? Yeah, this is the largest chunk of what? Of food. So, straight away, we cannot say, okay, it's good food. Eh? So, it's poorly prepared food. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 12. Proverbs chapter 12. Verse 11. Can somebody read that? Proverbs chapter 12, verse 11. Yes.
He who chills his head with his sexual bread, and he who follows frivolity is devoid of understanding.
Wow. I want it in King James Version. He that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that followeth vain persons is void of understanding.
Yes.
Tilleth his land. Do we have land that we till, that we grow our what? Our own food? So the person who tilleth what? His land. But let me say his or her, so that at least the lady may say, this does not concern us. He that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with, but he that followeth after vain persons is void of understanding. If you're not growing your own food, basically you cannot have understanding. There is this blessing that is just given upon by mere question of growing your own food. So a farmer is carrying what? Quite blessings. If you are studying, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a technician. Okay, if you want to be a doctor, you can see people once in a blue moon. But if you are growing food, people want to eat in the morning, in the afternoon, in between meals as well. The man who controls seed controls the world. In this way, we are what? We are being controlled. We all want to eat on a day-to-day basis. So it is essential that, number one, we have what? We have land. And that land must be put to use. We must what? We must grow food. All right. What? Vain. Let's look into vain. Who are the vain persons in our lives? The vain persons that we are following. Can somebody maybe open your dictionary and check what vain means?
Vain.
Yes, vain. Because many times we could also be in a crisis that we are following vain persons. Eh? Do you have a dictionary?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Someone who is excessively proud of their appearance or abilities, or it describes an action that is useless or unsuccessful.
I like that part. Eh? Vain persons. They are so much useless in our lives, and we follow those kind of what? Those kind of persons, and then we are what? We are void of understanding. Can you go to Proverbs chapter 28, verse 19? It's almost the same, but it is the last part. He that tilleth his land. Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 19.
He who tills his land of bread, but he who follows frivolity will have poverty enough.
Wow. Did you hear that? He that followeth vain persons will have what? Poverty enough.
Yo. So,
We need to be.
yo.
It's in the Bible. Eh? Yes. So the Bible is a very powerful manual for what? For basic agronomy, how to grow our what? Our own food. And we have already realized we are in in a crisis of food particularly, and then we are at ease, folding our hands, preparing for a very big crisis. That is what? That is coming. He that tilleth his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that followeth vain patience will have poverty enough. Why are you going to be having poverty enough?
Because you were following.
Every time you want, you've got to pop out money in order for you to eat. But if you grow that food, you basically bring in what? Bring in money, because you sell the food. Okay? So primarily, I want people just to be able to grow their own clean food. That's a basic rule of life. I've already given you the example that we were given by God before He created Adam. The garden was what? Was there. For those who haven't started the families, before you think of starting a family, let the garden be where? Be there. But we don't just want chomolia, beetroot, carrots, a few of these things. We want a space where you grow actually the food that you may want to eat, or the foods that we use. To that regard, let's just group the foods that we eat into the classes of food. Let's start with the carbohydrates. I'll just put them as carbs there. They are part of what? Of our diet. And what are carbohydrates for? Yes, they give us the fuel that we are running from. And where do we get our carbohydrates? In which groups of plants is carbohydrates? Yeah? Yes, all the grains. You want to talk of millet, pear millet, finger millet, sorghum, wheat, maize. They give us what? They give us carbohydrates. All the pumpkin family. Okay, so pumpkin, butternuts, squashes, they are also what? They are also carbohydrates. All right, all the tubers as well. Okay, so the Irish potato, the sweet potato, cassava, not beetroot, beetroot is more on the veg side, yam, cocoa yams, right? They are also what? They are also carbohydrates. Okay? How many of us love potatoes? Almost everybody. 99% of us love potatoes. Who's growing your potatoes? Okay, they are homegrown. For those who love potatoes, who's growing your potatoes? Okay, that's fine. Okay, if you help me by raising your hand so that at least we can be coordinated. Who grows the potatoes?
Me.
You are growing your potatoes?
We have potatoes, but it's not enough. Sometimes we buy, but it's big.
Okay, and then who grows it? Okay. Right. Let me just give you this. The potato is one of the most chemicalized produce you can ever eat.
Oh.
If you are, yes,
chemicalized.
heavily chemicalized. The potato is one of what? Is one of those. And how do you like your potato?
Baked.
Chips.
Fried.
Yeah. Okay, bread, yeah? Fried, yeah, fried, yeah. And it tastes really, it's just really yummy in the French, and you feel like hallelujah when you're eating. Okay, mashed, yeah, relatively. Frying the potato is a health hazard. The carbohydrates, we digest our carbohydrates straight from the mouth, chemical, because we digest our food in two ways, physically and chemically. So chemically, we start digesting our carbohydrates where? In the mouth. Taline, also known as salivary amylase, it begins to mix with our carbohydrate, and the taline or salivary amylase is water soluble. It cannot penetrate where this potato is being drenched and They're boiled in what? In oil. In as much as this is quite crispy and okay, it tastes nice. What's really tasting nice? The probably is that the oil, the salt, and whatever other things that you add onto it. Then you may taste all that good in the mouth, but you won't be able to digest it because salicylic amylase or taurine is water soluble. And on the tubers, the potato, the Irish potato, is the least nutritious.
Least nutritious.
Yes, on the potato family, the Irish potato is the least nutritious. And now, at least grow it yourself and grow it what? Grow it organically. Okay, right. We also need proteins. Right? And where do we get our proteins from? Meat, yes. Legumes, all the legumes, beans, lentils, you name them. Yeah, of course, that's meat. Right? And then what else? Where do we get protein from?
Nuts and seeds.
Nuts and seeds also get what? We also get protein. Okay. Our best protein is plant-based. Our best protein as humans is what?
Plant-based.
Is plant-based. I've seen your hand. Yes.
No, I was going to ask that which one the Irish potato is the one we always use or?
Yeah, the one that you always use. It's called the Irish potato. You normally call it potato, yeah. Yeah, the sweet potatoes, we then call them sweet potato. Yeah, the common potato is what the Irish potato. Yeah, they can pepper one. It's called the Irish simply because the Irish became a staple for the Irish people. That's why it's called the Irish potato. Okay, I was talking of the protein. Hello. Yes, talk with me. Okay, we are listing out the food classes, and we are on protein. And I was saying plant protein, for the protein that we get from the legumes is the best for humans. Did you know that? Well, you don't know that. Let me tell you that. Look at our teeth. Do they look like carnivores?
No.
They don't, right? Yeah, but we have given ourselves a surname and we have called ourselves omnivores. And then we think we can eat plants and as well as the flesh animals, but we are not designed for that. Right? We all have been to school, and we did some sports in school. Now, who is still in school? Who is still in school? Yeah. Who are still doing sports, especially running? Okay, can you come to the front? Right. Okay, you can just stand there. You usually, when they do running, the teachers will tell you, on your marks. What do you do when they say on your marks? Okay, that's fine, you can be seated. Why do they ask us to go on your marks?
To be ready.
To be there? Okay. The reason for going on your marks, all right, it is the best position for acceleration. Okay? You now look into the animals that depend on other animals, that eat other animals. That is their permanent position. You see their short legs, the hind legs, because they depend on what? On speed. Okay? For them to run. Your food does not run away. That's why you are this straight. Wow.
Yeah, got it. Or the reason why this is on your mark is because
The
it's your
animals
best acceleration.
that eat other animals, they depend on speed in order to catch their food. And then this on your marks is their permanent position because their food runs away. Your food does not run away. That's why you are this straight. Yeah, that's it. Pure anatomy. There's also coordination of our eyes because we eat with all our senses. Okay? So there is coordination of the eyes and the digestive system. If you go to a lemon tree and you see lemon there, some are even ripe, you begin to salivate. And the saliva is even tangy. Why is it like that? Because your system is recognizing, no, that is food, but that food is tangy. Let me prepare the kind of saliva that will be able to digest. Yes. But we are busy cleaning up our sensory nerves for eating. Yeah? What is your favorite meat? Yeah, it's chicken and beef. Who kills your chicken? It's your father. Do you kill it yourself? And the beef? Yeah, that's exactly what we do. Sometimes if you see it being killed, you don't want even to look at that. Because your system is telling you, no, that is not food. Sometimes if you see, terrible accident, somebody has died there because there's a lot of blood, you go for weeks without, you don't want to see meat. Why? Because your system is saying, no, that is not food. But we busy keep that until we condition it. If you see the chicken or maybe the beef or the cow moving there, do you salivate? I must eat. We nobody does that until it is conditioned, and then you can just check all your eaten places. Their color is red, so that that's conditioning. We can only eat when we are conditioned. So physiologically, scientifically, and why God has created us, we are not meat eaters, but meat tastes good in the mouth. All right, I've seen you hand up.
Yes, madam. You mentioned some things now. I'm thinking of animals that are not eating other animals. Now, you're talking about their permanent position. So I'm looking at the lion, their back feet, they are already in position to chase the other animals. Then when you look at the elephant, you look at the giraffe, their legs are straight. They are not in position to chase other. So yeah, that's what I was like thinking. It makes sense to look at all different animals that are not eating other animals and other animals that are eating other animals. So their positions are different.
Okay, thank you for that. Right, let me bring your mind together. While doing a basic agronomy, we've just gone through the food that we need to be growing, right? And then what else do we need? We need vitamins. Let me just feed vit and minerals. Where do we get this from? Okay, largely fruits and vegetables. So you can name all of the fruits. It doesn't necessarily mean that they do not have protein. But the main thing, why all these, even our carbohydrates, they also come with a little bit of protein, they also come with a little bit of vitamins. But the bigger thing, that's why they are named after their children. So vitamins and minerals, we're largely talking of fruits and what? Fruits and vegetables. Who grows our fruits? How many of us are eating fruits from their own trees? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the rest of us were dependent upon the enemy. Yeah, we need to be very, very serious with this regard. Yeah? We must come to a point where we've got our lands and we are growing, especially the trees, where we can actually just depend upon what? Upon fruits and seeds and nuts to eat. Because later on, probably around Friday, I'm going to burden you with the one quotation from Ellen White, where she says, we are coming to a point where recipes for cooking will not be needed. Because God's people will realize that the food that God gave Adam in his sinless state is the best for man's use as he seeks to regain the sinless state. I'm going to repeat it on Friday. In another quotation related to that one, she says, by precept and principle, make it plain that the food that God gave Adam in his sinless state is the best food for man's use as he seeks to regain the sinless state. So when we read about Adam, we are not introduced to cooking as far as Adam is concerned. And if you are going to prepare for a crisis, you need to be accustomed to fruits and maybe vegetables. By the way, when we were created, initially there were no vegetables. Genesis 1:29, there were seeds and what and fruits. Then vegetables were added. Genesis 3 verse 18. After what? After sin. So we need to accustom ourselves to fruits, nuts, okay, and vegetables. It will make life easy. And apparently, I think we are already behind the syllabus. As you and me. Have you ever heard of the ageless woman? The ageless woman. She has been deemed the ageless woman. She's a black American. She's not even Adventist. She's been eating raw foods probably now nearly to 50 years. You look at her, she can put women half the age to shame. The husband who did not reform to her lifestyle is finished aged. When they work together, they go to events together. People are like, hey, what are you doing with your granddaughter? I have put people who are sick on raw foods and they recover very well. And every time I go on raw foods, I am feeling hallelujah. We need to get accustomed to what? To raw foods, especially fruits and vegetables. Now we also need fats, essential fatty acids. So these are the groups of food that where do we get our fats from? Nuts, seeds, avocados, olives. Okay? This is where we get our seeds. I mean our essential. So for us to be a people, we should know how to grow these things. That's key. If you are going to be healthy and strong and be about, we should be able to be growing our own food. We cannot afford to depend on anybody else. There are three classes of people who are ruling the entire world: the food industry, the pharmaceutical world, and the obvious politician. Yeah, the food industry, they are not concerned about your health. They are concerned about your money. They want to make as much as they can. From what? From you. So they can just put all the junk across. And then when you are sick, their cousins, the pharmaceutical world, they go and make what? And make more money. And then your politicians, they are the one who put standards that are okay. What's your favorite? Italy, KFC, what? You name them. Those ones. There is the politician, Ronaldo's. It's the politician who say, okay, they can sell whatever junk they are selling. Why? Because of course they are getting chances from there. They are also getting kickbacks as well. The ones that we know nothing about. So we are kept in a vicious cycle. Don't eat well, get sick, okay, and then we continue to roll like what? We continue to roll like that. But I think from this camp now, it's got to come to be a thing of what? A thing of the past. We need to wise up. We cannot see a problem and then we fold our hands. And then we talk about the problem. There's so much problem whilst we are folding our hands. So this week, in the very few days that I'm going to be here, we will have to sweat in preparing our own ground. And when we get out of here, certainly we should be able to produce our own food in small spaces. Are we happy with that? Amen. Are we ready for that?
Yes.
Okay, so it's going to be grilling, but I will make it very funny so that at least it can be enjoyable. Initially, having to work the land, it will be cumbersome. There are so many ways of making our soil fertile, but I'm going to grill you on the most cumbersome one. Okay, that is the one that we are going to do practically. The most cumbersome one. Let me just read you a statement from Ellen White, from the book Ministry of Healing. I love this book very much. Do we have Ministry of Healing? How many of us have it? Okay, almost. How many of us have read it? Okay. For me, of all the writings of Ellen White, this is my classical. I read it over and over again. I think it summarizes everything she has written about. If you want to have great controversy, you find it in here. Talk about food, you find it in here. Right. So, a work for Christian farmers.
Which page?
From the paperback, it's page 161, but from the original one is the 193 to 194. From the paperback is 161. Christian farmers can do real missionary work in helping the poor find homes on the land and in teaching them how to till the soil and make it productive. Teach them how to use the implements of agriculture, how to cultivate various crops, how to plant and care for orchards. Many who till the soil fail to secure adequate returns because of their neglect. Their orchards are not properly cared for. The crops are not put in at the right time. A mere surface work is done in cultivating the soil. Their ill success they charge to the unproductiveness of the land. False witness is often borne in condemning the land that, if properly worked, would yield rich returns. The narrow plans, the little strength put forth, the little study as to the best method, call loudly for reform. So, from this camp, we are going to be agricultural reformers.
Amen.
Amen.
How about that?
Amen.
It's reform. Because many times reform, we were only talking about meat and I had meat, probably sugar and milk. But okay, we need to be agricultural reformers. We should be able to grow our own feed. We as a people, our children should not wait to go to agricultural colleges in order to produce food. You heard me correctly?
Yes.
I posed that question because back home I was dealing with, years back with some other guy. Yeah, they were still at university then. Now they are they've established their family. And I'm like, you know what? Your children must never go to agriculture college. And it's like, huh? And I'm like, they eat from conception. And then they are born. And you wait for them to go to college to know how to produce their food. Are we okay? This is something that must be coming from our own homes. And apparently, if you go back to third generation from us, that's exactly what they knew. Before we were colonized, we just knew how to produce. We never had the crisis of lack of what? Lack of food. Our current lack of food, do you know that is actually even tailor-made? Yes. Yeah, if Zimbabwe has got a crisis of food, okay, like we sometimes have these droughts, and America wants to give us food, they won't buy it in Kenya. They will give it from where? From their own farmers. They are promoting their own farmers out there. So these things, they are tailor-made. When I was growing up, there was brown rice in the shops, and it was cheaper than white rice. But my mother, she was beginning to be married. And then this one is, doesn't take a lot of time to cook and, okay, we will become enlightened. You know, it must be this status symbol. Okay? And I know the use of brown rice. It has become terribly expensive. It's now sold in a health shop. I cannot afford it now. Why? Why is it so?
It's expensive.
It's not expensive. It's tailor-made to be expensive, so that you mustn't afford it because you are not growing your food, right? You don't have much money, so you are running on a budget. That you are okay, no, at least and you want to save money, so at least you go to these cheaper ones, so that you save money. But there's no saving money in there because you're actually buying your own debt. Sooner or later you're going to be sick, and then you pay expensively at the hospitals. It's tailor-made because I don't see any reason why parboiled should be cheaper than brown rice, because by brown rice you're just removing the husk that is not edible. Parboiled is there's a lot of input in there, so we are tailor-made to be sick. So we need to take cognizance of that, and then let's play our own game. Does that make sense? So growing our own food makes a lot of sense in the times that we are living. Now that I'm taking for granted you have your land. The moment you get land, you need to be a plant somebody. I want you guys to grasp this. Sooner or later I'm going to put you into grips, and this is now what you are going to be using. Your land must be planned. So there's planning. Plan your land. Okay? Many times we move in there and we are not planned. You put it into zones. Put your land into zones. Let's start from zone 0. 0 is the place where you're going to be building you're building your house. Okay, you say, okay, no, this is my land. Okay, I go to the infrastructure. You've identified the place that you're going to be building a house. That's your zone 0. Okay? Zone 1. The things that you are going to be needing much at the home will go into where? Zone 1. So the kitchen garden should be near your kitchen. You should actually be able to see it from where? From the kitchen. You can actually even attend. You're going to say, okay, no, lunch is about to be ready. Let me just go pick this spinach or this tomato for my salad. If you put it far away from the kitchen, out of sight, out of mind, it also works. It doesn't work in your love letters. It also works in the garden as well. All right, so the kitchen garden must be closer to where? Closer to the kitchen. Zone 2. The things that are related now to zone 1, that are needed probably by zone 1. You are going to need your chicken manure, your duck's manure, or whatever. They can go then to zone 2. Okay? Because in as much as I'm not an advocate of meat eating, we should be able to keep these animals, because God gave us that domain so that we should keep what? We should keep nature. That's easy. Creation. Let them be flowers in our lands. And then go to zone 3. You can add your goats, your sheep in what? In zone 3. Zone 4. Your field for annual crops. Alright? So by annual crops, which one are you thinking of? Don't tell me maize. I don't like maize.
Millet.
Okay, the millet, yes. Rice, yes. What else? Cassava, yes. Yeah?
Peanuts.
Wheat, yes. They go into where? into zone 4. Zone 5.
Included there. Are fruits included there?
Yes, fruits, they can either go into zone 2, you can combine plant them, or zone 3, they can as well go in there. Your garden as well. I'll never have a garden without lemon. I love lemons much. So they can also fit here into it. So let me make it a garden orchard. So you incorporate the fruits and the garden as well.
Okay.
Zone 5, that's your wilderness. That's where you're going to be keeping your bees as well there in zone 1, in zone 5. How many of us love honey here? Looks like it. Okay, 90% of you love honey. How many of us are keeping bees? You're afraid of bees, but you're not afraid of their honey. Okay. I'm sure by the time I'm done with you, they are going to be your companions. All right. So besides their honey, bees also help with the pollination. They are the most efficient pollinator. So we need bees. If you're thinking of your squashes, your watermelons, they largely dependent upon pollination by what? By the bees. One guy many years ago told that if we kill all the bees in the world, men have only 4 years to live. Because man is not an efficient pollinator than the bees. So we also need to keep bees. All right? Right. I've got 5 minutes. I'll give you a break. We'll drink some water, we'll freshen up, and then we will come back and we continue. So far, is there any burning questions? I'm just laying the foundation. Yes.
So in other words, you don't have to have a orchard along there. You can mix it either with the animals or with the kitchen garden.
True. We want to be copying nature. We've said, okay, the foundation is already been awarded, is Jesus Christ. So we are creating a system, but that is copying what? That is copying nature. Okay. You know, one of the reasons why God had rest, He created a system. You hear that? When He said, let there be trees, He's no longer saying, let there be trees. Why? The system is what? Yeah, the system is reproducing. So when you think of your gardens, this is what you are putting into mind. And then when you have done that, you will have rest. Is that making sense? Yeah. We are creating a what? An ecosystem that will continue to what? Produce. The reason God rested is that He created a system that is what? That is functional, that is working, and He rested. You cannot rest when you don't have a system. I love to talk about, pensioners suffering back home, because pension is an illusion as far as Zimbabwe is concerned. Because the moment they get a pension, that money is wiped out, they've got what? They've got nothing. They've got it's not a system that is functional. Sooner or later, they get into drugs, like the young ones are into drugs, they get stressed, sooner or later, boom, they are gone. Because they never created a system that is what? That is functional. So in our livelihoods, we need to create a system, and then we have rest. Just imagine you plant, you've got trees. 7, maybe trees say they are grafted. In 7 years' time, they are producing massively. You can just relax, and people, they'll come and buy you eat, you can give if you want to give. You can do a lot of things. Because the system is what? The system is functional. You don't want to come to a point where you say, okay, no, you're pumping out money, you're pumping out money. You have poverty enough. So from here now, we'll be having wisdom. And we won't have poverty enough, simply because you are creating a system. So while we're in there, let me emphasize that you are in transition. Because I'm not going to be appealing to your emotions. I'm much appealing to your intellect. I hope you understand the difference. Because I want us to have our minds working so that we can be able to produce. I'm not a motivational speaker. Yeah, because motivational speakers can ask you to go and give a lion a clap, and then they won't be there. Okay, I want us to create something that is functional. We want to do it here in practical, and then you should be able to go and do it. So for now, I'm just laying a foundation where we're saying, okay, this can be what can be done. But the greatest thing is going to be on the practical side of things. Sometimes I speak like lightning, you may not be able to grasp me, but if we're going to do it practically, you should be able to do it in your own languages. How about that? Yes.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of these zones. If you were to structure them in a wise manner, maybe you can just graft them to say, maybe if the house, I'm just thinking of an example.
Okay.
If the house, like if you say if the house is zone A is zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or would you say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? You know.
I'm getting you.
Yeah.
It all works. Whatever you're saying, it all works. Like, okay, our 0 is said. Let's say this is our land. Should you want to have your 0 at the center, that's permissible.
Okay.
All right. So you've got your house here. All right. The kitchen may be here. The kitchen garden may be near your kitchen, right? These other zones, they can just interchange. They are not following that in particular order, like 1, 2, 3, 4, going stretching. They can actually surround you. But sometimes zone 3 can come even nearer the kitchen. Like when I got to understand this one, I was already built by my place. But my zone 5 I had actually built in zone 5.
Bees
In the wilderness.
I've stayed with the bees right in my house. I'm a bee fanatic.
So you built them intentionally knowing there were bees?
No, there were no bees. Bees didn't care. Because okay, I'm basically a bee farmer. That's the other time they got into a sofa. I stayed with them for 3 months. Oh. I'm telling you. I only removed them because I do workshops on bee farming. I only removed them when I was facilitating a workshop.
So they don't sting you?
Yeah, we just need to know how to deal with nature. And I'll be talking about bees, but basically, when you are dealing with bees, okay, you've got to know your hygiene. You don't just wake up and you're all sweaty and you are going to the beehives. They will sting you to death.